Hi, our guest today is Mohamed Yunus. Mohamed Yunus received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 for his pioneering work in microcredit, which has helped millions of people out of the poverty cycle. He's the first businessman ever to receive such a high honor. This movement has now helped more than 100 million people in 100 countries. He is respected by people like Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, and Bill Clinton. We're delighted to have him as our guest today. Professor Yunus, welcome to Australia. For the benefit of the audience, I would like to start off by asking, how did you get started to doing what you're doing today? And what is microcredit in a nutshell?
Well, I never intended to get involved with such a program. That's not the work that I was doing. I was teaching economics in one of the universities in Bangladesh. But we are in a very desperate situation. The economic situation was very bad. We had famine in the country. So I was trying to see as a person if I can be of some use to some people next to the university campus. So I did a lot of small things, helping people individually in that village. And I saw the loan sharking in the village. And I tried to get some information. I saw 42 people in total borrowed only $27. And they have to suffer so much because of that. So I thought I can solve this problem by giving $27 from my own pocket.
Basically based on three principles: no credit history, no legal documentation, and no collateral. And that's a very innovative concept. But how did you convince people to believe in your cause in the beginning? And where does the funding come from Grameen Bank?
Nobody believed that, so I became the guarantor. So I was the only believer in it. And I also didn't have any idea whether the money will actually be paid back. I had never done that before. So I was taking the risk. I may lose all the money, I have to pay back the bank, or half the money, I have to pay back half the money. I had no idea. But luckily, every penny paid back, so it worked out. Bank didn't trust this will work. They were just waiting for the whole thing to collapse.
And how long did this last, and how did it evolve over the years?
Yeah, it continued for several years. Then I thought, why don't I set up my own bank? Now that it's working well, and the bank is kind of reluctant to agree with this. Now that I know that it works, why don't I set up a bank for the poor people?
That's back in 1983, isn't it?
I started in 1976, and it continued until 1980-81. Then I proposed that I should get a separate license to create a bank. And finally, I got the license in 1983. So in 83, we became the bank. Until then, between 76 to 83, it was a project. I was guaranteeing loans and taking money from the bank and giving to people, collecting the money back and giving back to the people, back to the bank.
Wow. So how has that concept evolved since the 1970s? What's Grameen like today in terms of the loan size?
Now that it became a bank, it became easy for us to lend money. So we continued to expand. Today we work all over Bangladesh, every single village of Bangladesh we work. We have 8.3 million borrowers, mostly women. 97% of them are women. We focus on women so that they can take a small amount of money.
Why is women a better proposition and a better structure?
We were trying to see that we are even-handed between men and women, because I was critical of the banking system where they're totally focused on men. Not even 1% of the borrowers happen to be women, so I thought that was unjust. So when I began, I wanted to make sure half the borrowers are women. So I went to women to persuade them to take loan, because they were so reluctant to take the loans. They were afraid of taking that. Finally, it took us 6 years to get to 50-50. Then see that the money going to the family through women brought so much more benefit to the family. The children in the family become the immediate beneficiary. And women took very good care of the money she received. She wanted to get the best mileage out of that money. And also she wanted to get out of the present problems as fast as they can, because she's on the front line of the suffering of poverty. So she wanted to move out of it.
So it's really
quickly.
the sense of responsibility within a woman that actually makes the difference. And what has been the repayment rate to date?
Same. It's very high repayment rate, 97%, 98%.
Wow,
continuous.
wow. And how big are normally these loans in terms of the loan size to an individual?
When people first time join Grameen Bank, the loan size would be around $40, $45. And as she pays back the first loan, she becomes more confident in her work and she has more ideas about her work. She would like to take a bigger loan, $60, $70 loan. After now 35 years of our work that we have done, average loan in Grameen Bank will be something like $250. So that's the kind of step. But on the higher side, you'll see loans of $10,000, $15,000 and so on.
And how is the money used for what businesses, or do you give them the business idea like coaching, or is this a free model in which you give them the freedom to do whatever they want based on certain boundaries?
They have to feel comfortable with what they want to do. We don't want to tell them what they should do, because my feeling was that we will be wrong giving them wrong advice, because we don't live their life. They know what is good for them, what is doable for them. We have no idea. We can fancy textbook ideas that we'll have, and in the process we ruin their life. So we don't want to advise them. When she looks for an idea, we always encourage her to talk to her friends, what they are doing, to find out whether that makes sense to her, if she has any similar idea, and check it out with her friends, so that they can give the best advice than we can, because we come from a different background, not her background. Usually it's for income generating activity. You put the money in a way, it generates income for you. Whatever work that you're doing, it's something that you can sell, that people buy from you, and you make money and you pay back the loan and you become the owner of the business.
Is it to do with farming, or is it to do with craft work in terms
All
of the
kinds
business?
of things.
All kinds of things.
All kinds of things happen. It's hundreds and hundreds of different things. Some agriculture related, some livestock related, some craft related,
Wow,
so on.
that's amazing.
Manufacturing and so all kinds of.
That's interesting. And this leads out to another question about social business. What is a social business, and how is that differ from a corporation or a charity?
Social business, as I've been defining it, it's a non-loss, non-dividend company to solve social problems. There are many problems around us, but we don't pay any attention to it, because only business we have learned about, only business that we are told about, is about business to make money. So a money-focused business. So
Return on shareholder investment.
Absolutely, yes. The higher the money you make, more excited shareholders become, the more your share prices go up. You are a most successful company because your share price is going up. So we are very worried if the share prices go down. So everything is focused on making money. So in the process of making money, we create a lot of problems. Problems for people and problems for the planet. We have no time to pay attention to it. And we always say that, well, we run the business, we make money, we pay taxes. Government should take care of it. Government has no way can solve all this problem. It's so gigantic problem. Government doesn't have the machinery to do it. Government doesn't have the creativity to do it. So the problems keep piling up. The idea that I was bringing up, I said, why don't we create another type of business? Business to solve problems, where we have no intention of personally making money out of it. In the profit-making businesses, we make money, so that's fine. But in another business, which I'm calling social business, we solve problems. We have enough creativity, we have enough dynamism to bring together to solve all these problems. Citizens can solve the problems. If all the citizens get together, each one is trying to create a problem-solving company, all these problems will disappear. So that's what the one that I'm calling social business. We have created many of those businesses, and we saw how effective they are. And normally people try to do this kind of thing by charity, by creating a foundation, creating a charitable organization. So you give the money to solve those problems. If somebody is hungry, you give them the food. If somebody needs housing, you provide them charity to provide a housing, education, etc., etc. I said, that's good. This is one way because the economic world doesn't allow us to do that. So we step outside of the economic world, be a philanthropist and help people who are in distress, who are in trouble by giving money.
And having them break out of the poverty cycle instead of relying on money from charity again and again over time.
Now this is the only structure we have. We go to the charity, go to the philanthropy to do that. But what I'm saying that if you give the money for philanthropy or charity, money goes and does the work, it never comes back. So it's a one-time use of your money. You did a good work, but it's used only once. If you want to do the same thing again, you have to go back and find new money to put this money again. Every time you have to bring the money to do the job again. But if you can transform this whole thing into a business module, then money circulates. It goes out and comes back again. And then use it again, so it becomes reusable money again and again. So that's the advantage of it. So it becomes, the same money becomes much powerful money in trying to create the impact. And that's the kind that I'm talking about, social business.
And it restores the dignity of the individual as well, for them to be self-reliant and self-sufficient, obviously.
Absolutely, yes, indeed, because then they are equal. They are not kind of at the mercy of somebody else. It's a business deal. When I give a loan, she doesn't feel that I'm doing her a favor because she's paying it back with interest. So it's a business deal. So we are at the even level, both of us. But at the same time, she gets helped because now she can use her unused creativity, unused talent to make a living for herself. And that encourages her children to learn from her that yes, she is an independent person, she can take care of herself, and the family can stand on their feet and so on. So that's a good learning process for them. For example, many governments, particularly in rich countries, give people benefits or welfare because they don't have the job, they can't take care of themselves. So the state take care of them, give them a charity, give them handouts from the government. And apparently it looks good that the state has the responsibility, society has the responsibility to taking care of the people who are in distress, which is correct. But to have them in a way that not only this generation went on to welfare, the children went into welfare, their grandchildren went to welfare. There are many families in Europe who are in fourth generation unemployment, fifth generation unemployment, because they never seen employment in their life because government is taking care of them. They have no incentive to get out of them. And even if they tried, they looked hard, so they went back again because government takes care of them. So I said, taking care of people by the government is a very important thing. But this is only one part of the responsibility of the society. The other part, which is more important part of the responsibility of the society, is to help them get out of charity. But that part is never used by the politicians because politicians find it easy to give rather than create an environment where everybody has a decent livelihood for themselves. So that's the challenging part. Otherwise, you're destroying the families, you're destroying the lives of people by keeping them in charity kind of environment. So this is another part of thing that we have to review, revisit how we do that. In social business, one possibility is to create opportunities for them to get decent employment for themselves in a business way. So they find their own worth, that yes, they are not just dependent people, dependent on the rest of the society. They create things and contribute to the society. Each individual human being has unlimited capacity, unlimited potential. So if you leave them in kind of charity mode, those creativity that they have were never used, wasted away. It's a huge human waste and destroying the person's future as a human being. So I would say that this is another opportunity to bring out the social business idea, to create those opportunities for people.
Can you please tell us about your business ventures with Adidas and Danone? And because that's a very inspiring venture that you're conducting at the moment.
We created a lot of social business ourselves. We, as in our own initiative, we created solar energy company to bring solar energy in the villages as a social business. It grew into a nationwide company. We sell over 1,000 solar home systems every day. So it's expanding very well, and people accept it.
That's based in
well.
Bangladesh, or?
It's based in Bangladesh. We work in Bangladesh. Also, we created other like nursing colleges because Bangladesh needs lots of nurses. We have an extreme shortage of nurses in the country, and the world has extreme shortage of nurses. World today needs more than 100,000 nurses, but they're not there, so people can't post them, get them to work. So our idea is, why don't we create a nursing college where we produce nurses as a social business, and then they can work in Bangladesh or outside of Bangladesh. We give them good language training, at the same time nursing training, who can work anywhere in the world, or at the same time they can work in Bangladesh. So this is a social business, and we can have hundreds of or thousands of young girls to become professional people because the jobs are waiting for them. Why should they be wasted away in the villages, getting married, having children? That's about it. Nothing to look forward to. While they can feel their ability to serve other people, enjoy their work they do, and so on. So this is the nursing college we did. We have created the cataract operation hospital, specializing in cataract operation.
How many operations do you do?
We do in the hospital that we created, the first one was 10,000 cataract operation per year. Wow. And then we have successfully done that. Now we have, the second one is also operating. We are setting up third and fourth hospitals and doing that, so that it becomes a social business itself. You don't have to worry about finding money because money recirculates within the system. People get good treatment and self-financed, self-sustaining, and so on. The one that struck us when we had a big company like Danone from France became interested in our work. So we created a separate social business with them. It's joint venture. We produce yogurt to address the problem of malnutrition among the children of Bangladesh. Almost half the children of Bangladesh are malnourished. Most of them are severely malnourished. And that's not a good news for children because they grow up stunted. Their physical growth becomes limited. Their mental growth is very restricted. So we wanted to change that. We created this yogurt with all the macronutrients which are missing in the children, put it in the yogurt, vitamin, iron, zinc, iodine, so become enriched yogurt, and make it very cheap so that all the children can eat it. And made it very delicious, and children love it. So when they eat it, they gradually get back the macronutrients and becomes a healthy child. So this is all designed to make sure that children regain their health, not for making money. So once we took this idea of profit making out from the whole picture, suddenly all this possibility opened up. So we concentrated on that.
How did you convince the board of directors to believe in your cause? And I think they're the ones who approached you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from our side it is no problem because we have been doing this for many years. But from the Danone side, they had a problem. This company is a 50-50 shares between Grameen and Danone. Danone couldn't pay their share because their lawyers objected to it. Their lawyers objected because saying the shareholders gave the money to the management of Danone to make more money for the shareholders. If this company that you are investing promises right out up front that they will not give you any dividend, you cannot use your money to do that because then it will be violation of the mandate the shareholders gave you. So that was a restriction right there. They thought for a while what to do. They came out with the final solution very smartly. What they did before the general meeting, annual general meeting of the shareholders, they circulated a letter to all the shareholders, about 300,000 shareholders. The letter said that we are considering investing in this company in Bangladesh. It will do such things. It will address the problem of malnutrition among the children, and we are convinced by doing this, we can help children to regain their health. But this will never give you any dividend. And this year you are going to get the dividend from Danone, X amount. Whatever percentage of this money you would like to invest in this company, which will never give you any dividend, please sign up and show what percentage of dividend you would like to invest in this company. 98% of the shareholders signed up. They were looking for only raising for $500,000 or €500,000. They ended up having €35 million by doing that. So this is another one. So they solved the problem, and they had so much surplus money that they went to the stock market in Paris and registered a new company called Danone Communities Fund to invest in future social businesses, because this money was given for social business. So it opened up a completely new opportunity which didn't exist. Conventionally, they say you cannot do that. But the moment you ask your shareholders very boldly said, go ahead and do it, and gave you more money than you asked for. So this is how it was resolved. And we have the company jointly done with Adidas to bring shoes for the poor people. Shoes are not just for fashion or for comfort, is a health-related matter, because many of the diseases attack your body to the skin of your feet. When you go barefoot, they attack you, and particularly parasitic diseases. So it's very important that you cover your feet, but most people don't have this opportunity to cover their feet. They don't own any shoes. So we made that happen by this company. The whole idea of this company is to bring shoes for the people who go barefoot and make it very cheap, very good quality.
Roughly how much does it cost per pair of shoes?
We were working, gave them the challenge to Adidas to make it at a price level of under €1 or about €1.
This is so inspiring.
And they accepted that challenge, and they said we'll come as close as possible, and they produced that. They worked very hard to do that, and after 2 years of research and continuous attempt to come up with these shoes, finally they made it, and they test marketed it in Bangladesh. Now we are doing the mass marketing of that. So this is another one as a social business. So we created other companies like with Veolia. Veolia is a water company. It's a large water company in the world. We created a small social business water company in the village of Bangladesh to bring drinking water to the people in the villages. Our water is a big problem in Bangladesh. Our water is contaminated with arsenic, underground water, and surface water is polluted water. So people have to either drink polluted water and get all kinds of diseases, or drink poison, arsenic, with your water. So we have no escape route. So we trying to create that escape route by creating a social business, a company which is dedicated to bring the good quality water at a very affordable price, so that everybody can drink that water. So this is a joint venture with Veolia, Grameen Veolia company that we have. And we have a series of such other companies.
How does an average person find happiness in today's world with so many things going on and living a very hectic life? What advice do you have for them?
You make yourself happy by making more money. So money is equated with happiness. Other happiness is making other people happy is a happiness. Is a very exciting happiness, but somehow we are not introduced to that happiness. Our system doesn't introduce us to that happiness, so we are deprived from that. So if you want to increase your happiness, you have to work on both fronts, see which one you like better. Until you have introduced yourself on both sides, you wouldn't know how exciting happiness can be by making other people happy. So the happiness is about what you want in your life. What is the purpose of your life? Are you achieving that purpose? Are you getting to that fulfillment of those purposes? That's happiness. If you do, you are happy.
And for an average person who's got a job, raising a family, paying off their kids' education at a home loan, and if they want to find more meaning, happiness, and fulfillment in their life, do you have any advice for them?
Sure. I mean, just because I work for somebody and doesn't mean that I've given up completely for that company. I still am a human being. I can do everything that I'm talking about. Any person can create a company. It doesn't. When we say company, all of a sudden we see big logo, big sign, big commercial on television. It's not like that. You can create a one-person company. Like when we talk about Grameen Bank, microcredit, we are talking about $30, $40 loans. Even in New York City, $150 loans or $1,500 loans. That's it. So if you can create a business like that, So anybody can create a business. I'm sure anybody can spare that kind of money in their life. So either an independent social business, I can create a social business to employ one person. It's possible. So when I give the example of Danone and Veolia, people get confused. Oh, I'm not a big company, I can't do anything. I said that came as an exciting news for us, but that shouldn't kind of discourage you to get involved, because any person can create a business to employ one person. And I created that business not to make money for myself. I wanted to make sure this business takes care of one person who runs it. It could be a flower stand, it could be something they sell in the side road, or whatever. One person business, it's possible to do that. And there are thousands of ways it can be do that. Or 3% business, or a 5% business. If I can take one person out of welfare by creating a social business, I have done something.
So what are the steps to making that happen?
Think about it.
1, 2, 3.
Think about it, that's all. It's not that you have to know something. And everything that I have done, if I reflect, I can always say, I have done things I know nothing about.
How do you make it happen then?
Just jump at it. I explained to you that I know nothing about banking, I had no idea about banking, but I got involved with it. I created a whole bank. Now that idea has spread all over the world. So knowing is not a precondition. Getting into it is a precondition. You get into it, if you're serious about it, you'll find a way. It's nothing beyond human possibilities. So you go ahead and try it and so on. So if you said, I want to create a business which will take care of one person, I'm sure you'll come up with 10 different ideas.
So sometimes too much thinking gets in the way of doing.
No, thinking is good. I'm not discouraging thinking, but do it and think. Not just think and stay there at home. Unless you jump on the water, you'll never learn how to swim. So you go in, jump in, and then make little mistakes, but you'll find a way. So coming back to individuals can play a very important role. And then again, I may not create a big company, but I can support a company. I can buy a share of that company to show that I support you. If I cannot do Grameen Danone myself, I can buy a share in Grameen Danone, saying that, yes, this is the kind of thing, here is my $100. I want to buy shares of Grameen Danone. It's possible. So wherever there are social businesses, I can participate in that by using my money. I become a part owner of this company. And also, this is an indication of my support, my financial and moral support, that yes, I love that. Go ahead. I like to see more children come out of malnutrition. And that's possible. So that's why we're talking about creating a separate stock market, where only the social businesses will be listed. So that if I want to, I don't know what to do, but I can immediately go to the stock market and see which one I like, whether I like the one which is taking care of the single mothers, whether they're a company which is a social business for old people, they're taking care of the old people, very decent work and so on, or they're taking about the handicapped people in a social business, or taking of the children by addressing their malnutrition and so on, or water problem, or whatever. There are so many companies gradually becoming listed. And I want to make sure I like the one, not everybody is investigated, but I like that. They're taking care of the pregnant women so that they have a safe delivery. And they want to ensure that mothers don't die at childbirth. So I want to support that company. I bought shares in that company. I feel good when I hear the report this year. They have saved so many lives at childbirth and so on and so forth. I feel good about it. And then that's my reward. That's what I got. So we need to have this stock market, because today's stock market, you open the newspaper, you see which one is making money, you listen to the televisions, everybody's talking about who is making more money. So we go rush there, put our money so that I get more money. So there you don't talk about whether I do good to other people or not. Only you're thinking you're obsessed with making money, so you are expressing your obsession by buying more shares so that you become rich overnight. So you can't do this social business there. So if you are, it's like two different markets. One is for making money, another is for doing good to other people and to the planet. So I go to this stock market. When I enter this stock market, my mind is clear. I don't want to make money for myself. That's why I came here.
Is it existing anywhere in the world at the
Not
moment?
yet, but many are seriously thinking about it. Some initiatives have been taken in some different places. And some business schools are trying to do it in internet, try to figure out how to proceed with that. But the many initiatives are coming out. But in the meantime, we need to have many more social business to list there so that we can do that. But definitely it will be needed very soon.
Definitely. So Professor Yunus, who inspired you and who were some of your mentors along the way?
Well, I would say the people in the village I work with, the excitement they get from what they have achieved for themselves. That's very touching, very kind of grabs you when you see that the little changes that happen. The woman who joined Grameen Bank, totally destitute and now making money and gradually improving and sending her children to school. Now you see the mother with her daughter who looks just like her, but younger than her, then you know that she's the daughter. And you think she works with her making baskets or whatever she was doing, and now is a bigger one. But you talk to her, she tells you that she's a medical doctor. She practices in the nearby city, and she came to visit her mother because I'm visiting her village. So she'd like to meet me, and she came because she heard about me but never saw me. So you look at the mother and look at the daughter together, and suddenly you think her mother could have been a doctor too.
If given the right opportunities.
There's no fault in the mother, like
True.
daughter didn't have
It's
any
just
fault.
an external environment.
Simply society never gave her a chance. Society not only didn't let her become a doctor, society never gave her a chance to go to school. So she's a illiterate woman, but her daughter is a medical doctor. So in one generation, just by one intervention happened in their life, is some institution was created so that they give you a loan, and she made a life for herself, and then she sent the child to the school, and they gave you scholarship, they gave you education loan, and she went to medical school, now she is a doctor. So you cannot blame the people for the poverty. Poverty is not created by the poor people. Poverty is created by the system, by us, all of us together, we create poverty.
An environment.
Absolutely, the environment, the structure that we have created, that created poverty. So I often explain poverty by saying it's like a bonsai tree. You know, you take the seed of the tallest tree in the forest and put it in a flower pot, and it grows only this big. It doesn't grow as tall as you see in the forest. And you wonder what happened to this seed. Is something wrong with the seed? No, there's nothing wrong with the seed. Is the flower pot is the problem. You didn't give enough space for the seed to let the tree grow as tall as possible. So poor people are bonsai people. There's nothing wrong with their seed. Simply society never gave them the space so that they can grow as tall as anybody else. So that's where we went wrong. So we have to correct that. We cannot just walk away saying, sorry, it happened. We created it, so we have to undo it and redesign it so that nobody has to suffer because the way we designed something. We designed a home, when it's built, we can't enter it. And we can blame, I'm too big, I cannot enter it. No, I'm not too big. The house is too small. So you demolish that house. The guy who designed it, sue him. But we don't do that. We say, okay, fine, it's his fault, or somebody did it. We walk away.
We shift the responsibility within the
Absolutely.
individual.
So we have to feel responsible that we are part of that. We are part of the system that we continue. We said, okay, I can do it, so I don't have to worry about anybody else.
That's inspiring. That's actually a shift in paradigm for us to achieve that. And Professor Yunus, what's the single most important lesson you've learned over the last 30 years about eradicating poverty?
Basically that even the poorest person has the same ability as anybody else. One simple thing, if you try to imagine, a child born in the street, because her mother lives in the street, and a child born in the palace, potentially there is no difference as a human being. That's the condition. If by some magic you switch these two babies overnight, nobody noticed it. One in the street went to the palace, one in the palace went to the street. Now the one who is in the street, he or she will grow up as a criminal and got into all kinds of wrong things, drugs, crimes, and so on.
Even if they're born with the same intelligence, but the environment is shaping their destiny.
And the one who grew up in the palace, who were actually born on the street, but grew up in the palace, he will be a prince, everybody will admire him, wonderful capacity, wonderful thought process. So it's not where he was born, it's where he was grown up. That made the difference. So potential as a human being, there is no difference. So if a poor person is something, it's nothing wrong at birth. Simply we twisted it around and made it into a wrong kind of shape that we gave, the society gave the person. So that's the biggest lesson that you learn, because I was just explaining about this daughter who grew into a medical doctor. That's what it is. If you can redesign things, society becomes different. Theories are just like mold. You know, pour metal into a mold, it takes the shape of the mold. So theories has molded us into money-making machines, money-making robots. So we cannot think anything else because we have molded like that. So no matter what we try to do, try to amend it, we can't, because that's how we have been molded. We have to redesign the mold itself. Then we become full human being. Otherwise, we can't become full human being.
So other than the need to change the paradigm and change the conditioning and the capitalist structure, the motivations, what are some other ways to unleash the creative potential within a human being for them to actually live the life on purpose and just live a life in greatness?
Well, get to the education system, for example, so that young people think differently. Because today's lesson is not a very good lesson. Saying that work very hard to get the best job. That's not a good thing to do. For example, all young people should have options as they grow up. One option I mentioned earlier, that whether to go into social business or to go into money-making business. That's an option. Let people, young people, come up with ideas what they would like to do with their life. Another option is whether I should be a job seeker or I should be a job giver. That's also an option for everybody. But today we don't give it. We are always training them to be job seeker. We train them how to apply, we train them how to appear for interviews. Because that's the whole idea, that you have to seek a job. I can be a job giver, that is not included. Why shouldn't it? I'm no less than anybody else who runs businesses, create businesses. Why can't I be a job giver? I can give at least one job. I can give at least 10 jobs. I may not give 10,000 jobs, I can give 10 jobs. I can create a business which creates 10 jobs. I can do that. But I have to be mentally prepared for that and move on with that. So those are the options that with today's technology in the hands of the young people, they can access any knowledge, access any information, connect with anybody at any speed they want. So they have a lot more flexibility in designing the shape of the world. And also knowing in the school time, there's nothing called impossible. What was impossible 20 years back, today is a routine thing. 20 years back, you didn't have a phone in your pocket. But everybody has a phone in their pocket. Maybe some of you have two phones in their pockets. But 20 years back, it didn't exist. You didn't even think about it, that's something happened. Today, you have things, your touch in your little phones, things can happen. So many things can happen. Just, probably you don't carry those tape recorders anymore. You just use your cell phone and it becomes tape recorder for you. So you still call it tape recorder. The tape doesn't exist. Recorders, it's a recording device. So how many things can happen by touching? Today, that phone is a precursor or the beginning of the Aladdin's lamp. In Aladdin lamps, you touch it and the genie comes out. Today we touch, someday, soon, or with the beginning of it.
It's a great symbolic representation.
Digital genie will come out of it and say, what can I do? The genie is ready to solve any problem for you. But it's possible. So train our young people that yes, your creativity, today, what we have today, after all these years, in 20 years from today, guess what will happen? You don't know, because these things beyond imagination will happen. You cannot even think what 20 years from today will happen. It will be so amazing. You have to write a science fiction to describe it, because otherwise, just to say this will be slimmer, this will be smaller, this will be lighter, or whatever, that's not the way progress will happen. This will be obsolete. What happened to the Walkman? Do you remember there's something called Walkman?
That was 20 years ago.
You have to go to some museum to find it. It just disappeared. But at that time, you could not think the recording could be like this. You have an iPod with 20,000 or how many thousand songs in your little pocket or whatever it is. You couldn't think. Walkman was the thing at that time. So today, iPod is the thing. What will be the thing 20 years from now? You cannot guess.
So how can we be more creative?
The point is, there is nothing called impossible. The distance between possible and impossible is shrinking. So it's a good time now to list what are the impossibles. These are the things now have to become possible. If we make effort on it, it will get done earlier. Otherwise, it will happen. It may happen in the wrong way because we didn't think about it in the right way. So why don't we think about it in the right way? If this is impossible, and I know that this is going to be the routine, everyday thing tomorrow, and if it happens, how it should happen. So that if we imagine, and that's the way it will happen. If we don't imagine, it will not happen that way. It will happen in a way which you'll regret. Why did it happen that way? So those are the issues now, the young people and everybody to think, list them. What kind of world that I would like to create? I am the creator of the world. But what kind of world I would like to create? We have to design it. If you don't design it, we'll have a wrong world.
This reminds me of a quote from Albert Einstein. He said, imagination is more important than knowledge.
Absolutely.
And this is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, how has your life changed since winning the Nobel Peace Prize? I know it has been 5 years already.
Yes.
How has your life changed?
Well, it's a very prestigious prize. It definitely changes your life. By the way, I also received the Sydney Peace Prize. The first Sydney Peace Prize was given to me, then later on others. So I'm very happy and very proud of that. Of course, this is a world-recognized prize. There are many, many prizes in the world, but people don't pay attention to them. Not because they have less money as award money and something like that. There are many prizes which is bigger than Nobel Prizes. But still, over years, they have acquired a kind of credibility and respectability beyond all other prizes. The moment Nobel Prizes are announced, everywhere in the world, every single news media, electronic media, print media, or any media, it's a first page news. There's a story about the person, the pictures, and so on. You don't hear about any other such prizes, but this is one, they always respect it and so on. So once you receive that, world attention gets to you. Who is this guy? What is he doing? And all those. So curiosity comes up. And it gives you a tremendous amount of visibility and respectability. The things I've been saying now, I've been saying it for many, many years. It's nothing new. But previously, people didn't pay any attention. Oh, he keeps talking. He has a big mouth. He keeps talking. But after the prize, when you say, these are wise words, so you pay attention to it because he got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Suddenly, they added credibility.
Exactly. The attitude changes completely. That's a tremendous kind of gain. And then I try to make use of that opportunity that, yes, now that I have your attention, let me tell you what I feel about it. So I keep on talking about it.
I remember it was Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton who said, you should have received the prize many, many years ago, not 2006.
That's
and
right.
I was very inspired by that.
That's right. Yes, it's Bill Clinton who have been saying this, and for many years this is a speculation that he's going to get the Nobel Prize, but it took a long time.
Maybe it was the right timing.
Yes.
And the final question, Professor Yunus, is what kind of legacy would you like to leave in the world?
Well, I would think that the fact that you can think differently, you have ways out. Things don't have to be the way it is. You can do things without having all the knowledge prior to that, before you start. You don't have to wait for that. You can begin because it's the right thing to do, and gradually things will happen. And many young people will be willing to do that, and looking for ways to solve it, and that will be I think, the best thing to happen.
Professor Yunus, thank you so much for your time.
You.
It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.